Hi, welcome to Enchiridion. Among the hidden depths of the ocean lay mysterious and rare creatures seen by man by chance. Among these there are creatures such as the frilled shark, the giant spider crab, the Atlantic wolffish, giant tube worms, the fang-toothed fish, the six-gill shark, the vampire squid, and the Pacific viperfish. These are just some of the many creatures waiting to be unveiled by man to contribute to the development of deep-sea exploration for scientific or commercial purposes. One of these creatures is exceptionally bizarre, a rare shark species equipped with ampullae of Lorenzini, capable of detecting electric fields by prey, and reaching up to almost 20 feet in length, as well as being very stealthy, which we will explore in detail in this new two-part series documentary of the aquarium. So, what is the taxonomy and history of the goblin shark? What is its phylogeny and evolution? What is the description of this shark? Which is its distribution and habitat? And what about its biology and ecology? These are just some of the questions we'll explore in this two-part video series. The goblin shark, one of the rarest species of deep-sea shark, and also called a living fossil, as it is the only extant, or members of a group that are still alive, of the family Mytschorinidae, an 125 million year old lineage. And what about Mytschorinidae? Well, they include genera such as Anomatodon, Scapanorhynchus, and Wolstenia, and are characterized by a long, trowel-shaped, beak-like snout, relatively much larger than other sharks. And what's so cool about them? A cool aspect is the fact that its long snout is covered with ampullae of Lorenzini, which we will get to later in this video. They have extensive, protrusible jaws. When the jaws are retracted, the shark resembles a gray nurse shark, with a long nose. Its nose resembles the nose of a goblin, which is the origin of its name. Similarly, they're named for their likeness to mythical goblins that appear in Japanese folklore. Since their discovery in 1898, these sharks have only been seen around 50 times, give or take, similar to the megamouth shark's rarity, with only over 60 sightings since its discovery in 1976. It is a bubblegum, pink-skinned beast known for its flattened, elongated snout and highly protrusible jaws packed with nail, fang-like teeth. It is usually between 10 and 13 feet when mature, though a specimen reached 18 to 20 feet in length, rivaling the great white shark at also around 20 feet in length, maximum. They inhabit upper continental slopes or continental margin, which is a shallow water area found in proximity to continents. They also inhabit submarine canyons, which is a steep-sided valley cut into the seabed of the continental slope, and seamounts, which are a large geologic landform that is from the ocean floor but doesn't reach the water's surface or sea level, at depths greater than 330 feet, with adults found deeper than juveniles. Its features include a flabby, chubby body and small fins, which leads scientists to believe that it is quite sluggish in nature. Its long snout is covered with ampullae of Lorenzini, like Mytschorinidae, that enable it to sense minute electric fields produced by nearby prey, which it can snatch up by swiftly extending its flexible jaws. And what in the world are ampullae of Lorenzini? They are special sensing organs called electroreceptors, capable of perceiving natural electrical stimuli, forming a network of jelly-filled pores. This organ is also found in Chondrosteae, a group of primarily cartilaginous fish like sturgeon and reedfish. These sensory organs help the creatures equipped with them to sense electric fields in the water. Each ampulla is composed of a jelly-filled canal opening to the surface by a pore, or organ used to detect movement, vibration, and pressure gradients in the skin. They are mostly clustered into groups within the body, each cluster having ampullae connecting with different parts of the skin, yet preserving symmetry. The ampullate pores are visible as dark spots in the skin, providing creatures with an additional sensor capable of detecting electric and magnetic fields as well as temperature gradients. Ampullae pick up weak electrical impulses living fish and animals give off whenever a muscle contracts. This built-in homing device allows goblin sharks to track down prey. After tracking down prey, its retractable jaw provides the quick draw action necessary to seize it. This species hunts for teleost fishes, cephalopods such as squids and octopi, and crustaceans both near the seafloor or seabed, which is the bottom of the ocean, and in the middle of the water column. Small numbers of goblin sharks are unintentionally caught by deepwater fisheries. The IUCN, or International Union for Conservation of Nature, has assessed it as least concern, despite its rarity, citing its wide distribution and low incidence of capture. In an 1898 issue of Proceedings of the California Academy of Sciences, American ichthyologist David Starr Jordan, or one who studies fish, described the goblin shark as a new species, genus, and family. He based this on his account of an immature 3.5-foot-long male caught in Sagami Bay near Yokohama, Japan. The specimen had been acquired by naturalist and shipmaster Alan Austin, who gave it to Professor Kakichi Mitsukuri at the University of Tokyo, who brought it to Jordan. Following this, he named the shark Mitsukurina Austoni, in honor of these two men. When the shark was first discovered, researchers realized that they had seen goblin sharks before. And where? In fossil remains. After Jordan's description was published, multiple scientists also noted the similarity between Mitsukurina and the extinct Mesozoic shark, Scapanorhynchus. Scapanorhynchus is an extinct genus of shark that lived from the early Cretaceous until possibly the Miocene, and is extremely similar to the goblin shark, with an elongated, flattened snout, and sharp teeth useful for seizing fish up to around 10 feet long. For this reason, goblin sharks are now considered living fossils, though greatly overhyped. The goblin shark's body structure was perfected for survival. Some scientists even consider reclassifying it as Scapanorhynchus austoni. But eventually, more complete fossils revealed multiple anatomical differences between Scapanorhynchus and the goblin shark. For a time, there was a taxonomic confusion due to specimens' jaws fixed at varying degrees of protrusion during presentation, leading some scientists to believe that they were distinct species, when they were in fact the same. Phylogenetic studies based on morphology have usually classified the goblin shark as the most basal or primitive of the order Lamniformes, also known as the mackerel sharks. Lamniformes includes a diverse group of sharks, such as the great white shark, as well as the megamouth shark, with specific characteristics. Genetic studies have also confirmed a primitive classification for the species. Due to these primitive traits, the goblin shark has been described as a living fossil. The family Mitsukurinidae, known for Mitsukuruna, Scapanorhynchus, and Anomodon, dates back to the Cretaceous period 125 to 113 million years ago. And with that, thank you for watching. See you on next week's episode where we'll conclude this two-part series. This is Enchiridion. See you next time. Hi, welcome to Enchiridion. This is the second episode of the two-part series on the goblin shark, and we left off on a detailed description of the shark. You may see a bit of overlap between these two videos, but this video is more of a detailed description as opposed to merely a summary. So let's get into it. It has a sword blade shaped snout, flat and long, and a fun fact about the snout is that the proportional length of the snout decreases with age, meaning the older they get, the smaller their snout. It is hypothesized that the elongated snout serves to increase the surface area these sharks can use to pick up on electrical signals from prey, since they live where light is scarce. Its eyes are small and lack protective membranes, and behind them are spiracles, an opening leading to the respiratory system. Its large mouth is parabolic or U-shaped. The jaws are extremely protrusible and can be extended almost to the end of the snout. It has 35 to around 50 upper and around 30 to 60 lower tooth rows. The teeth in the main part of the jaws are long and narrow, particularly those near the jaw midpoint, or symphyses, and are finely grooved lengthwise. The rare teeth near the corners of the jaw are tiny and have a flattened shape, designed for crushing. Tooth length and width varies. Their teeth are generally scraggly and long, and it's one of the few shark species whose teeth are visible when the mouth is fully closed. Goblin sharks can't fit all of their teeth in their mouths, giving them a terrifying appearance. The 5 pairs of gill slits are short, with the gill filaments inside partly exposed. The 5th pair is above the origin of the pectoral fins. Its body is thin and chubby. Its 2 dorsal fins are similar in shape and size, as they are both small and rounded. The pectoral fins are also relatively small and round. Its pelvic and anal fins have long bases and are larger than the dorsal fins. Its caudal peduncle is flattened from side to side and lacks keels or notches. Its soft, semi-translucent skin has a rough texture due to it being covered in dermal denticles. Living goblin sharks are tan or pink because of their visible blood vessels beneath their skin. The color deepens with age, and young goblin sharks may be almost completely white. The margins of the fins are translucent bluish to purplish gray. They have scary black eyes with bluish streaks in their irises. Their eyes are missing nictitating eyelids found in most sharks, which is a thin membrane beneath the lower lid of the eye that extends across the eye for protection. Adults usually measure between 10 to 13 feet long, with the capture of an enormous female, estimated at around 18 to 20 feet long, during 2000 proved that this species can grow much larger than previously suspected. The maximum weight was recorded at 460 pounds, though the average weight is around 400 pounds. The goblin shark has been caught in all 3 major oceans, indicating a wide global range, specifically in tropical to temperate latitudes, from the northern Gulf of Mexico, the Senegal, and even in southern California. This species is most often found over the upper continental slope at depths of 890 to 3,150 feet, with some even being caught as deep as 4,300 feet, and a tooth has been found lodged in an undersea cable at a depth of 4,490 feet, indicating that it is truly a deep-sea creature. Its ecosystem or habitat is the open ocean. Adults inhabit greater depths than younger specimens. Juvenile goblin sharks frequent the submarine canyons off southern Japan at depths of 330 to 1,150 feet, with some individuals occasionally wandering into inshore waters as shallow as 130 feet. On April 19, 2014, fishermen in Key West, Florida, whale fishing in the Gulf of Mexico, caught a goblin shark in their fishing net, with it being the second one ever caught in the Gulf. It was photographed and released back into the water, never to be seen again. Its anatomy suggests that its lifestyle is sluggish and inactive. Its skeleton is reduced and poorly calcified. The muscle blocks along its sides are weakly developed and flimsy, and its fins are small and soft. Its long caudal fin is typical of a slow-swimming shark. Its long snout or rostrum detects weak electric fields produced by other animals through numerous ampullae of Lorenzini. Vision seems to be less important than other senses, and unlike most deep-sea sharks, it can modify the size of its pupils and thus most probably does use sight in some cases. They may be the prey of blue sharks. They may also be the subject of parasites such as the copepod Acthrogalius midsucarinae and the tapeworms Lidobothrium ameshensis, and Marsupiobothrerium gobelinus. It has been relatively hard to decipher what goblin sharks eat because most examined goblin sharks have empty stomachs. For instance, in a study on goblin sharks performed in 2006, 29% of the 148 individual fish studied had no food inside of them. But from those that did have, we were able to find that goblin sharks feed mainly on teleost fish, which includes 96% of all extant species of fish, divided into 40 orders and 448 families, with over 26,000 species described, ranging from the giant oarfish, measuring up to 25 feet long, and the ocean sunfish weighing around 2 tons, to the male anglerfish at just 0.24 inches long. And the teleost fish it consumes include rat tails and dragonfishes. Rat tails and other deep-sea teleosts are the main food of the goblin shark. It may also occasionally eat cephalopods and crustaceans, including decapods and isopods. How do we know it feeds on crabs? Due to posterior crushing teeth. The goblin shark forages for food, both near the seafloor and far above it. Unfortunately, garbage has been recorded from the stomachs of some specimens. Scientists believe that goblin sharks are solitary, like many other shark species. They also think they are most active in the morning and evening. Due to its sluggish nature, the goblin shark may be an ambush predator, or a carnivorous animal that captures or traps prey by stealth or strategy, as opposed to speed and strength, usually sitting and waiting, often in a concealed position, and then quickly surprise attack. Its low-density flesh and large oily liver make it neutrally buoyant, which occurs when an object, in this case the goblin shark, is equal to the density of the fluid in which it is immersed, and resulting in an object that neither sinks nor rises, allowing it to drift towards prey with stealth, avoiding detection. In other words, in relation to body size, the goblin shark's oily liver takes up enough room on its insides to make it as dense as water. Because it floats so easily, the fish requires little movement to get around, and it can discreetly float up to its desired food source. Once prey comes in range, its specialized jaws snap forward to capture it, assisted by 2 pairs of elastic ligaments associated with mandibular joint, which are pulled taut when the jaws are in their normal, retracted position. When the shark bites, the ligaments release their tension and essentially catapult the jaws forward. Simultaneously, the well-developed tongue basihial on the floor of the mouth drops, expanding the oral cavity and sucking in water and prey. While its jaws are unique, goblin sharks use ram feeding, a type of prey capture typical of mackerel sharks. The kinematics of their jaw when feeding is what makes these sharks special. The lower jaw seems to undergo more complex movements and is important in capturing prey. It has a velocity of about 2 times greater than the upper jaw, due to the fact that it not only protrudes forwards, but also swings upward to capture the prey, and the maximum velocity of the jaws is 7 miles per hour. During the strike, it is a reopening and reclosing pattern, a behavior that has never been seen in other sharks before, and could be related to the extent with which it protrudes its jaws. This slingshot style of feeding could be an adaptation to compensate for poor swimming ability, by allowing the goblin shark to catch elusive, fast prey without having to chase them. They generally use their teeth to spear their prey, not actually cut it, so this fish will generally be swallowing prey whole. They can open their jaws over 100 degrees. The measured protrusions of the upper and lower jaw combined put the goblin shark at 2 to almost 10 times more protrusible than other sharks. A goblin shark's top and bottom teeth are attached to ligaments or bands of skin tissue tucked into its mouth. This lets the shark to crunch on snacks and makes it one jaw-dropping fish, literally. Little is known about goblin shark reproduction because a pregnant female has yet to be found and studied. It most probably has the reproductive characteristics of other mackerel sharks, which are viviparous with small litter sizes and embryos that grow during gestation, by eating undeveloped eggs, or obophagy, similar to the basking shark. They are thought to mate via internal fertilization and give live birth to a small number of relatively big young. During the gestation period, the mother likely provides her young with unfertilized eggs that they actively eat for nourishment. The birth size is likely close to 2.5 feet. Males mature sexually at about 8.5 feet long, while female maturation size is unknown. No data regarding growth and aging is known. Given the depths at which it lives, the goblin shark poses no threat to humans. A few specimens have been collected alive and brought to public aquariums, yet they only survived briefly. They live for 2 days to a week, and like the great white shark, its time in aquariums was short-lived. Previously, the Japanese used it for liver oil and fertilizer. It isn't targeted by fisheries, but is occasionally found as bycatch, in bottom gill nets and trawls, hooked on long lines, or entangled in fishing gear. One of the few areas where it is caught more frequently is off southern Japan, where 30 individuals, composed of mostly juveniles, are taken each year. Surprisingly, during April 2003, more than 100 goblin sharks were caught off northwestern Taiwan. The cause of the event was unknown, but some claimed it was due to a major earthquake. It's bizarre because of the fact that the species had never been recorded in the area before, nor has it been found in such numbers since. It is not believed to be threatened by human activity, but during June 2018, the New Zealand Department of Conservation classified it as at risk, naturally uncommon. In popular culture, one of the monsters in the Pacific Rim film and video game franchise is based on the goblin shark's biology. Since goblin shark sightings are extremely rare, it may be a long time before we decode all the mysteries of the goblin shark. Hidden in the dark of the ocean are greatly interesting and bizarre creatures, equipped with a repertoire of adaptations which they use to kill prey and survive. Forged entirely by natural selection, these creatures are among the weirdest known to man. They reach monstrous sizes up to 20 feet long, and are stealthy creatures that wait, slowly, and slingshot attack. The goblin shark. Scary, bizarre, and relatively immense. Thank you for watching. This is the aquarium. This is Enchiridion. See you next time.